Welcome to Our Savior Lutheran Platte City, Smithville, midweek update, Life with God. Lord's richest blessings to you. We are coming to the close of July and getting into August. School starts next month. Then we're going to get pushed towards fall and in winter. Summer is waning. I pray that you have taken time to rest and recuperate. So a few announcements. I think things are still going smooth within our worship changes. I know the strategic planning group has met several times. They're focusing a little bit more on the call. Construction should be wrapping up in Platte City. First week in August, hopefully, if everything goes right. There's a couple things that won't be done because they're on back order, but that information will come. Women's Bible Study is still meeting every 2 weeks. They're not meeting this week, but they'll meet next week in August. So if you're interested in that, please contact the church office for more information. Right now, media, we've been focusing on Romans. This Sunday is the last sermon in Romans. And then, so on the 23rd, we looked at set free from bondage to corruption, Romans 8. 8 to 27. On the 30th, we're looking at all things, even us, work together for good, Romans 8:28. And then we switch in August for a couple, 3 weeks, look at other texts. And so on the 6th, we're looking at Isaiah 55, 1 through 5. And the text, the question, the theme is, how do you spend your money? Pastor, you're asking me how I spend my money? No, God is. Right? Jesus talked about money more than anything else, wealth. Okay, so it's important. But by the end of August, we will be back in the book of Romans. So if you haven't looked at that Right Now Media study on Romans, I encourage you to do so for the history. There's a lot of other things in Right Now Media as well. Beginning in fall, hopefully you're doing something for your kids as well. Voters meeting is the 20th. Treasure Sunday is the 19th of November. And then if you haven't looked at doing our academy for your kids, think about that. Adult confirmation should be out soon. I'm looking at youth confirmation after Labor Day. And then for those of you who don't realize it, Bon Papert, who was our superintendent or certified family life educator for last not quite 20 years, has resigned. Okay, and so that's effective on the 30th. She does not want a going away party. She asked me not to put anything like that together, a reception, anything, a card shower or nothing. And so I'm not. And I've asked the congregation leaders not to. But at the same time, I think you need to know that. So if you want to take the time and say something to her, you are free to do that. But you need to know that it's happening in order to do that. So pray for her and her family. Keep them in your prayers. Great ministry as we move forward. All right. I want to thank you to the Star families. I think that fellowship on both campuses afterwards has grown a little bit. And so I think that's pretty awesome. And the Star families are putting that together as they're focusing on the worship services moving forward. With something else in mind that I was going to say, but I think that's plenty, huh? Lots of things still going on as we gear up into the fall. The devotion I want to use from last Sunday's text. It was Romans 8, and then the next Sunday's text. I'm going to use a little bit of both of those, kind of at the end of last Sunday's text into next Sunday's text. And so it's Romans 8. I want to read to you 24 through 28. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I just want you to hear God is at work in your life. You might not understand it. You might not know what's going on. But as the sign in my office said for years until I cleaned it up and took it down a couple weeks ago, good morning, this is God, relax, have a good day. I will not need your help. Because he doesn't. He does need us to stay out of his way. And so as we look at verse 24 of Romans 8, it says, "For in this hope we were saved. Now hope that is seen is not hope, for who hopes for what he sees? But if we hope for what we do not see, we wait for it with patience." And so I know patience is a virtue, my parents used to always say, but it is important. If we realize, and you remember those circles that I told you about, what we can control and what we can't, that God is in that outside circle and there is nothing we can do other than mature our faith and be in His Word, not in a super holier than thou way, but in a I'm adopted into the family, I'm a member, and so this is what I'm about way. And not being able to see it is fine, not being able to understand it is fine, not being able to comprehend it is fine. We continue to maturity in that, but faith is based in our heart, not in our head. Okay? And then it goes on, likewise, the Spirit helps us in our weakness, for we do not know what to pray for as we ought, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. There's going to be times when you just like, oh Lord, I don't understand, or oh Lord, please help me, I can't stop doing this, or whatever. And the Spirit understands, and the Spirit hears, and the Spirit intercedes. Unfortunately, I guess is the term for us, He doesn't intercede the way we want Him to. Okay? And that's clear. It's in accordance with His will. It goes on, and He who searches hearts knows what is in the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes for the saints according to the will of God. So it's according to His will, not ours. What He knows needs to happen, not what we think we want to happen. And then it goes on just a little bit further, and it says, and we know that for those who love God, for those who love God, for those who have faith. Remember, we love God because He first loved us. So for those who love God, all things work together for good for those who are called according to His purpose. So you can summarize it by saying God works good in all things for those who love Him. Okay? Or all things in someone's life or in the universe work toward good for those who love Him. So whatever's going on in your life, rest assured that Jesus says, come unto me, you are weary and heavy laden, I will give you rest. Because Jesus died upon the cross for you, and He died for you. I pray that brings you peace, now and always. If not for the week or for a day, at least for the moment right now. God bless you.